Right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Love Island cast. I am Chris Phelps and my co-host, and I've got to say, these revelations going all over, is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey Chris, so what revelations are these things you'd speak of?
Well, Dave, we've had conversations regarding the show. Can you tell everyone what you've been saying to me about the show and what you've actually been downloading recently? Obviously, not you.
That sounds much worse.
Oh, yeah.
It's not much worse than it is.
It's not a Sharif type situation, allegedly. But if you could tell everyone.
So I think I'd alluded to it previously, hadn't I? That I thought I could get sucked in, but really didn't see it happening. Certainly didn't see it happening in this first week, and now we're into that second week. But it's just getting so good. It's just dominating my thoughts more and more, and I just can't help but think about it. And so I downloaded the app so I can get up-to-date news all through, and I don't have to wait till 9 o'clock now.
This is horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. The whole format of the podcast is ruined within 10 days. But anyway, we're going
Seriously, Chris, I'm sat at home. I've got my tinfoil hat on, my conspiracy walls up there. I'm mapping out all the relationships between the different contestants. And, I need to get out.
I mean, this is like, I think we're doing nearly 3 or 4 days in a row now. We said we were going to do once a week. Then we said we'll do every other day. And at the moment, there's that much going on. Because obviously, last night's show was a bit of a corker. It's now heating up, Dave. This is where I can see it's going to start heating up. Because it has been a bit sort of bit middle of the road. There's been a couple of bits, but now it's really, once the 2 new girls come in last night, it was fantastic, and it's just going to set the cat amongst the pigeons for me.
And I guess this is what worries me a bit more, because I was really enjoying it, even when, I did see, there are a number of people are saying, oh, this is not a patch on previous seasons and what have you, and, they're all a bit too nice and they get along, throw the cat amongst the pigeons. But I was quite enjoying it before, but, if it's going to ramp up and get better and better, then I'm all in. And I do think, last night's episode, it was more full on, wasn't it? There was more going on than in previous episodes, I think. Yeah,
there will be 100%. It just ramps. So I think it says people familiarise themselves. And I've got to say, Dave, I'm going to call out. I know I've been a bit critical of Curtis, and I've got to say I'm doing a bit of a turn on him. I actually felt sorry for him yesterday, because I think that Amy is just a fucking mad ass. I'm sorry, but she's obviously led a very privileged life, because the nonsense she was spouting about this rival with Joe and Lucy. And I loved Joe when she tried to apologise after she'd had this meltdown with Lucy. And Lucy's just going, yeah. And and what she was trying to explain to her, I was thinking, it makes no fucking sense. It was just like me. She made no clear apology to him or logical explanation why she'd been a slapped ass. And it was just, I was laughing. I was thinking, I bet Dave sat there reveling in this, because it was just nonsense.
It was. I mean, she really put me off her there. I mean, she behaved in like a bit of a neurotic basket case, to be honest. I mean, she'd thrown out, it seemed fairly innocuous, the comment. She had a bit of a go about not seeing Lucy, and she's with Joe all the time, but it didn't seem like really bad. But you don't know the whole context of the whole conversation. So, they've just shown us that little bit. It probably went on for a bit longer than that, because both of them overreacted, really, because Lucy was in tears, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And it's like, it didn't seem enough of a comment there. But also, she is out of line there. What the fuck has it got to do with her if Lucy chooses to spend more of her time with Joe than she does with the rest of the girls? It's not like they've been lifelong friends. And, they've spent all this time, they've grown up together and, they're best of friends. And now suddenly these relationships, boyfriends are coming in and breaking all that. It just seemed odd. And it seemed like, mind your own fucking business, Amy.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well, Dave, like you're talking about when we're exclusive, we're half boyfriend and girlfriend, which is absolute nonsense. I've never even heard that in my life.
Well, it was just like, it was Curtis's clumsy way of trying to avoid, calling them boyfriend and girlfriend, wasn't it? And that's where that kind of came from. But the root of the matter is she feels like her nose has been put out of joint a bit because this was her special little day. It's her, she's a little fucking princess and, everyone should, look at me in the limelight. And she feels a bit put out that Joe and Lucy decided to go exclusive on the same, not quite the same day, was it? But everyone found out on the same day. And it was all to do with that.
Yeah, of course it was. You know what it felt like, Dave, is when you see somebody at someone else's wedding and then he proposes to his girlfriend in front of the bride and groom who've just got married. That's how she was perceiving it, didn't she? As if like they'd ruined the wedding or something, by like sort of overshadowing her. And I'm thinking, get over yourself. And what made me laugh is when she started crying, though, she gets the harem of girls and takes him away. And they have to go outside in front of the cameras to discuss it as she's crying. It's like, well, why don't you just go in the toilet? If you're that upset, you wouldn't be bothered about where the cameras were, would you? You would basically just go and find somewhere to hide and just sort of, get yourself back together. And I was thinking, fuck off. You're just totally blagging this.
I'm not sure if it is that. I mean, they're obviously constantly reminded, we need to have you on camera. That's why you're here, So it's no good, Sharif, if you keep taking yourself off to the toilets.
Allegedly.
So for whatever reason, whether it's to get away with the people because you don't like them or you're having a bit of happy time, whatever it is, you can't just go disappearing off to the toilet. So I don't think that was planned. Again, I'm just going in all in. I'm sure there are tactics, but I think the cameras are on you so long, you can't keep it up. And so, for me, Curtis is like giving everyone a bit of advice, but someone needs to have a word with Curtis and say, because that conversation between him and Amy, it's exactly what I would have said. It's like, look, he said it in a very polite way. It's like, look, it's none of your business. You need to stop getting in other people's business and just drop it. And she was going on. It's like, but it was our special day. What? You were getting fucking married, were you? So, and then she's, it annoyed me that like he feels like he's the one who has to apologize. He's like, I should have chosen different words to say. And what fucking different words? What did you say that was wrong? I just literally could not get it. And what annoyed me further, so I keep getting annoyed more and more and more as the episode was going on, was that she sort of turned it around then. Again, at the heart of it is this thing that she annoyed that Joe and Lucy broke that news on the same day. That is what she's upset about. But then she turns it around as like, because Curtis wasn't totally agreeing with everything she said, she makes it like, I don't know, I've never been in this situation before, and historically I've always pushed guys away. Well, that is the first fucking thing you've said that I believe, right? I believe you've pushed guys away, but don't fucking bullshit me that you've never been in this situation before, because how can you historically push guys away if you've never been in this situation before?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely on the money, Dave. I've nothing for you. I totally agree. And I think as well, she's going to get voted off the way she's going. I've seen a bit of a preview of tonight's episode, and it shows her going at Molly May. Now, I've got to say, Molly May is one of the most unlikable characters in the actual villa. I just cannot take to that absolute, sort of attention. I know they're all attention seeking to a point, but she's an absolute attention seeker. And poor old Tommy's not even got a peck on the cheek in 5 days of being coupled up with her. So I think absolute nonsense. So when she has a go at her, I mean, I don't want to condone bullying or anything by any means, but if there's a bit of a kick-off, I do like that. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. But I've got to say, Dave, going from being annoyed and sort of heightened with this is, our good old friend, Anton David Brent, I don't know what his second name is, decides to then go and tell Anna that on paper, she's not his type. On paper, obviously, she's not his type. Molly May is his type because she's really attractive on the outside, but on the inside, she's not. So Anna's attractive on the inside and on the outside, but you're not my type on paper. Well, hello. How to body shame somebody in one fell swoop when you're trying to be a fucking smoothie? What an absolute bell! And I've got to say, Dave, I was getting text messages today off our special guest, Mr. Asa Caton, at 6:30 in the morning. Obviously, I'm up because I'm up at 4 working, telling me, you and Dave have done a 180, you bastards. You're fucking Team Amber now, aren't you? And I said, no, I'd said you about that from the start. You and I've been Team Amber from the start. This is at 6:30 in the morning. This is how much it's affecting everybody, this show. And then he's probably giving us some. He said, Dave was Team Kurt. I think, let me see the text. I think he said something like, your team, I was Team Anna. And I think, let me check now. I don't want to misquote him because he'll proper have me because he does listen. He said, oh, yeah, Dave's Team Anton, he said. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
he is, because he is such a knob, right? And he came in with all this bravado and everything, and he's still a knob. He is absolutely that. So, it's not quite a 180, but I'll kind of agree with him that it's a change in direction, because what makes him a bit more endearing is that he is such a knob and he just gets it wrong so badly. Yeah. And he's like, he walks away from that conversation with Hannah, and I was like, you just keep digging, don't you? You just keep going. And he just kept saying it. He was like, Molly May, of course she's my type, and it's like the other, and you're not really, you know, but you're here is what he was kind of really meaning.
You're the booby prize.
He walks away from that conversation and he's like, yeah, nailed it.
I've got to say, though, Dave, he was brilliant. I've got to give Amber and Michael, especially Amber, she's turning into my favourite. I think they Mr. Horrocks, Mystic Horrocks there, these two are the absolute favourites now from nowhere. And they both told him, and he sat there dejected. She's like, you don't say that. Why did she? I'm quoting what she just says. Why did you go over and say to Molly May's my type? That's what I want appearance-wise or personality-wise. I want you to, Anna.
See, right, so again, this is brilliant people watching stuff, right? If he says almost the same words in a slightly different order, they'd been received differently. Because in his head, he's saying all the right things, but what she's hearing, it's absolutely not. So the fact that he's said, on the outside, Molly May is my type, right? Let's take that. Okay, if you were going to start off a sentence with that, how would you recover that? You might say, on the outside, you're absolutely my type as well. But what you have going for you is you beautiful on the inside as well. But no, he chose to say, Molly May's beautiful on the outside, but you're beautiful on the inside and out. The and out being a bit of an afterthought. So all Anna's hearing from that is, Molly May's fit, but I really like your personality. That's what she hears, because he's constructed the sentence in that way. And it was just so funny. And he was like a little schoolboy being told off.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
It was as well. And I think what made it even better is when he went into the VT room afterwards, he turned around and went, he works in Scotland now. I was like,
in Scotland?
Bollocks. And there's loads of Scottish people on Twitter then going, it doesn't work for me, pal, and all this. He's like, probably calling him out. It's like, it doesn't work anywhere in the world. It's just, you're basically telling somebody, well, you're the booby prize, it's like, don't worry, you'll have to settle for me. It's like, come on. The girl has got, I'm not saying she has any sort of body issue, because she certainly doesn't, but it's like, just knock her confidence even more if she's feeling a bit low because Sharif's gone. Just sort of like, wow. It's just absolutely a wow moment. Now, moving on, Dave, I've got to say, the two new girls, Mara, and I don't know what the other one's called, because Mara caused all the issues, didn't she? She absolutely, she's just, I was sat there, even I haven't watched this so many times.
She made the Essex girl blush.
Yeah. I absolutely I couldn't believe it. She sits with Tommy, and we've got let's cut it right here. They pick out Tommy and all the others, and I've got to say, Tommy's sandwich was the most disgusting thing I have ever seen. It was like lace. It's like that thing you get one on Facebook, rate my plate, don't you? And it looks like some of it looks like the back end of it's come out of a dog or something. And that's just like, what century are you living in, Tommy, to make that think that she's going to accept it? And obviously, Mara's the Irish because she comes in straight away. She's like, she said something about like being partnered up to him about Molly May, and he's like, yeah, we're going really well. And he went, this guy for 5 days. Have you kissed? No. She went, well, I wouldn't have that. I'd have put it right on you. And I was thinking, well, wow. And then she's like, he said some like sort of flirty comment. She went, yo, a gift wrap for you or something like that. I was like, what is, here we go. So.
See, that was his one good comeback, I think, because normally he says it again, doesn't he? He says, I haven't got time for playing games or anything, I know what I want. And he said it to Lucy, he said it to Molly May, he said it now to, what was her name, Maura?
Yeah, Maura.
Yeah. And again, it was like when Molly May was saying about, I'm from Manchester. I'm from Manchester. And she said, she's from County Longford in Ireland. And he's like, oh, I've got loads of Irish in me. Fury's Irish, innit? And it's like, no, she didn't say she was from Ireland. She said she was from County Longford. So are you claiming that have you been there? Is that where you descended from? But, when he'd walked in initially, there was obviously that attraction, and we absolutely predicted that. I mean, it's as easy as predicting that tomorrow is going to be Friday, so it wasn't that hard. But he did laugh. He was saying, I'm about to climax.
Yeah.
And she's like saying she's got a mouth on her, hasn't she? And I think she is going to ruffle some feathers. Straight away she's like, "Oh, they're all so fit. I've got the fanny flutters." I'm like, "Fucking hell, love! You don't even know this girl that you're talking to. That's a bit much."
Yeah, and then she also said as well about Tommy. I can imagine myself screaming his name.
Yeah, so
10 out of 10, Dave, for coming in and just taking over. I thought that was brilliant. And you've seen some, haven't you, on your newfound app, Dave? Would you like to explain what you've seen? A little prediction for tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, what was interesting is that, over about 48 hours in the show, we've seen Molly May deliberate over Tommy. He's fit, obviously, but he's got no personality. Is the essence of what she was saying. So I kind of like Anton's banter a bit more. I like Danny. And then she sort of passively like, well, I am in a coupling with Tommy. So, okay, we'll kind of give it. And Tommy keeps saying the words. He keeps saying we've got a connection, but I never see it. And she's gone from not really being asked to as soon as someone's sniffing around Tommy, she's become this psycho. And so from the preview that's just come out, I mean, she's going for it. She's giving him what for, and there's going to be a few fireworks tonight.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I know as well, we've had some good laughs, and some of the GIFs we're putting up on Twitter, both of us, have just been classics. We've had some good responses on a few of them, but they're just so funny when you put them out. And when you read other people's stuff, it's absolutely ridiculous, absolutely nonsense.
And I was trying to put my finger on why I've been bought in so hook, line and sinker, and I think it is just that it's that shared experience of watching it at the same time. So with all like catch-up TV with Netflix and stuff like that, you can watch it on demand and you're watching it with the people who you're in the vicinity of. But, being able to watch something and then, as soon as you've seen it on the TV, you seem to go on Twitter and someone's posted the funniest GIF or something, just absolutely nailed it. It's brilliant.
No, it is. It's absolute classic. It's just ridiculous. It shouldn't be something that either of us should be talking about, but the more you watch it, the more captivating it becomes. And then also, I think it's because they become more desperate, because once like someone gets voted off, that's when things change as well, Dave, because people are then the game's really kicking, because at the moment, it's almost like they're on holiday until someone actually gets booted off properly. I know Callum's gone. One of the girls or something. Someone who's in a bit of a couple you wouldn't expect. Someone just randomly will get voted off who you're not expecting it. And then it all changes from there. So it'd be interesting over the next week, especially how it's going to change. Because look at the dynamic in 10 days already, how much it's changed.
Yeah. And again, I predicted Michael and Amber, and Ace is absolutely right. Again, change in direction. I have warmed to Amber, absolutely. But, and I think the thing with her, I think it takes her so long to drop her guard down. You know, we've seen it now. She has dropped her guard down, but she's still playing poker with Michael. Whereas I think he's used to people just, you know, reciprocating quite quickly. So again, on the preview for tonight, you see there's going to be some fireworks there because basically I think I couldn't quite see what or hear what Amber was shouting, but as, you know, Michael gets to do the dessert, doesn't he?
Yeah,
so she's shouting something down, you know, and then Michael takes offense to that. There's some fallout from that. So, you know, again, they've only just got together. I think there's a lot of potential there, but they are going to have a bit of a blowout tonight. So it just depends whether they're going to be strong enough to see it through there.
No, exactly. Now, just before we wrap, Dave, I've got to say massive thank you to everyone. And one thing we always say is give us a review if you can for the show. So Love Island Cast on your podcast hosting sites, guys. And also give us a subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Get out there. Anybody who loves Love Island or anybody who doesn't like Love Island, look at Dave. Now he's a bigger super fan than me. 10 days. Get onto the podcast. We will love feedback. And if you do use Anchor to listen to the show, drop us a voicemail and we'll feature it in the show because we're having a great time with this. So Dave, how are we going to leave each other out?
Well, Chris, after watching tonight's episode, I am a little bit peckish, and so I'm going to go off and make myself some cheese on toast, but you can hold Sharif's special sauce.